Welcome back to the Counselor HQ podcast. I'm your host, Noelle Rizzio, licensed counselor, former school counselor, and founder of Counselor HQ. Since it's Mental Health Awareness Month, I wanted to dedicate today's episode to something I think a lot of counselors are quietly feeling right now: pressure. Pressure to do more, post more, educate more, advocate more, create more programming, and somehow still keep up with everything already on our plates. Now, while Mental Health Awareness Month is incredibly important, I think many counselors are asking themselves, how do I promote mental health awareness without completely overwhelming myself in the process? So today we're talking about realistic, sustainable ways counselors can support Mental Health Awareness Month without turning it into another source of stress and burnout, because awareness should not come at the expense of your own well-being. Awareness months can be wonderful. They shine light on important conversations, they reduce stigma, they encourage people to seek support. But for helping professionals, they can also quietly create an expectation to suddenly become the educator, event planner, content creator, advocate, an emotional support system for everyone, all while still managing caseloads, documentation, crises, meetings, emails, and your actual job. And I think it's important to say this clearly. You do not have to create a massive campaign to make a meaningful impact. Sometimes counselors feel like if they aren't organizing a huge event or posting perfectly designed mental health content every day, they're not doing enough. But awareness often happens in much smaller, quieter ways. And those ways matter too. So mental health awareness really starts with everyday interactions. One of the most powerful things counselors can do during Mental Health Awareness Month is normalize conversations about mental health in everyday settings, not through huge productions, but through consistency. For example, checking in with students or clients intentionally, normalizing emotional vocabulary, reminding people that seeking help is healthy, creating spaces where emotions can be discussed openly. I think this is super important in practice, but also at home too. I want my kid to feel that, emotions can be discussed openly with me. So it's opening that door for not only people in your professional life, but in your personal life as well. Sometimes awareness is simply being that person who says it's okay to not be okay. That matters. And honestly, counselors do this work every single day, not just during May, right? Mental Health Awareness Month doesn't require you to suddenly become a different counselor. It's really about amplifying the work you're already doing. So let's talk about practical ways that counselors can participate without adding enormous pressure. Because I tell you what, this is the first year that I've really even acknowledged that May is Mental Health Awareness Month, because I already felt like there was too much on my plate. So here are some things that you can do that won't feel like you're just adding more to your plate. Keep it simple. You do not need a month-long initiative. Simple ideas can still have impact. A calming quote outside your office, a short classroom discussion, a mental health resource email, a simple social media reminder, a self-care check-in with students or staff. Small actions consistently done often reach people more effectively than overwhelming one-time events. You can also use what already exists. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. We hear this all the time in counseling, I think especially school counseling. There are incredible mental health graphics, handouts, conversation starters, coping skills resources, and awareness campaigns already available. If you go to Canva and just type in social media, mental health, there you go. It's already there, done for you. Counselors often exhaust themselves trying to create everything from scratch. Permission to borrow, share, repost, and simplify. I'm giving you that, okay? Another thing is to focus on connection, not performance. This one is huge. Mental health awareness is not about looking impressive. It's about helping people feel safe, seen, supported, and less alone. A meaningful conversation with one struggling student or client may matter more than an elaborate event. Don't underestimate that quiet impact. Another thing you need to do is include yourself in mental health awareness. Counselors sometimes advocate for everyone's mental health except their own. So during this month, turn it inward. Ask yourself, what am I doing to support my own mental health? Because awareness also means acknowledging counselor burnout, reducing emotional overload, protecting boundaries, and normalizing rest for helping professions too. You cannot pour endlessly from an exhausted nervous system. And the last tip is to collaborate instead of carrying everything alone. You do not have to do this all by yourself. Partner with teachers, administrators, local organizations, wellness professionals, other counselors. Shared responsibility reduces burnout and often creates stronger programs anyway. Community matters in this work. I will tell you what, I go on LinkedIn or Instagram and just repost things that I think are really well said that someone else posted, right? You can give them credit and still repost their thing, still bring that awareness, but you don't have to create it. Use other people's work. They put it out there. Just credit them. And then a reminder for school counselors. School counselors especially can feel enormous pressure during awareness months, all of them. And I just want to remind you that you're already doing mental health awareness every single day. Every time you help a student regulate emotions, teach coping skills, support a crisis, advocate for mental health resources, create that emotional safety, that counts. You do not have to prove your value through exhaustion. And for you clinical counselors, Mental Health Awareness Month can sometimes create pressure to constantly educate online or produce extra content. But remember, your therapeutic work already matters deeply. Awareness is not only social media visibility, it's also ethical care, compassionate presence, and helping people heal privately every day. That is the work that matters enormously. If you take one thing from today's episode, let it be this. Mental Health Awareness Month should support mental health, including yours. You do not need to overextend yourself to make a difference. Sometimes the most meaningful awareness happens through small, consistent acts of compassion and connection. I am also, speaking of connection, I am looking for guests to have on this podcast. I would love to know if you have started your own practice, if you are interested in explaining to people what students really need right now in the counseling profession. If you have any insight into the school counselor, clinical counselor relationship, I would love to hear from you. Or if you have another topic that you feel like listeners would benefit from, I would love to hear from you. And please go on counselorhq.net and send me a message, because I really want to get this podcast to include more guests and not just my voice, because I think you guys might get tired of hearing that. And I mean, other perspectives are super beneficial. So I want to hear from you. So let me know what you'd like to hear as well. All right. Thank you for the work you do every day. Thank you for showing up for others. And thank you for remembering that your well-being matters too. Happy Mental Health Awareness Month, and I will see you in the next episode.